If you were an actor, would you make a movie knowing that it was going to flop at the box office? Stay tuned because we'll talk about 10 that did. We've got a lot to cover today, so let's get right into it.
Number 10. Channing Tatum. Whether he's making us swoon in movies like Magic Mike or making us laugh in the Jump Street films, Channing Tatum has come a long way since his career beginnings as a model and backup dancer. Of course, that doesn't mean he hasn't stumbled a few times on the path to success. In 2009, Tatum starred as Duke in G.I. Joe: The Rise of Cobra. Unfortunately, the film based on the popular action figure line proved to be a miss rather than a hit, and Tatum himself wasn't too happy with it from the get-go. In fact, he didn't even want to take on the role in the first place. "I was pushed into doing that movie," Tatum revealed. Tatum did appear in the 2013 sequel G.I. Joe: Retaliation, but he reportedly won't be a part of the franchise's third installment, G.I. Joe: Ever Vigilant.
Number 9. Virus. Jamie Lee Curtis has appeared in plenty of horror movies, starting with her feature film debut in the 1978 film Halloween. But despite her achievements within this genre, she's also taken on a few roles she outright regrets, like the 1999 film Virus. Based on the comic book by Chuck Famer, Virus got no love from audiences or critics. It was chastised for its lack of originality and poor lighting that obscured the action. Curtis knew from the outset that the film was doomed to fail. "It was maybe the only time I've known something was bad and there was nothing I could do about it," Curtis told WNN. "There have been bad movies that have been wildly successful, and great movies that have tanked, so you never know."
Number 8. Reindeer Games. Charlize Theron didn't agree to appear in the film Reindeer Games because she was genuinely excited about the script. In fact, she only signed on because she was a huge fan of director John Frankenheimer. Unfortunately, Reindeer Games is generally regarded as one of his worst films. But Theron has no regrets about accepting the role. She didn't want to miss the chance, even if the film itself wasn't one of his best. "I got to work with John Frankenheimer," she said. "I wasn't lying to myself, that's why I did it." She called the 2000 Pot Boiler a bad movie. Although the experience wasn't as exciting as it could have been, Theron knew exactly what she was doing when she read the script. And the gamble paid off. She got to work with the director she admired, and it's not like the film's lackluster reviews held back her career.
Number 7. Green Lantern. Deadpool and its sequel have been so successful at the box office that it's easy to forget about Ryan Reynolds' previous foray into the superhero genre.
You're welcome, Canada.
Though Reynolds may wish that forgetting it was possible. In 2011, he starred in Green Lantern, a film that Warner Brothers hoped would be the start of another popular film franchise. It didn't exactly turn out that way. Green Lantern didn't prove to be a hit with critics or audiences. Was Reynolds aware that Green Lantern was going to fail? Yes. In fact, he begged Fox to greenlight Deadpool to spare him from settling for the Green Lantern role at Warner's. He didn't get his wish until years later. "With Green Lantern, I don't think anyone ever figured out exactly what it was," Reynolds said. "It also fell victim to the process in Hollywood, which is like poster first, release date second, script last." Basically, Reynolds worried that it was all hype and no substance, and try as he might, he just couldn't salvage the film.
Number 6. Terminator Genesis. Emilia Clarke is riding a career high right now. Although the Game of Thrones series finale has proven to be divisive among passionate fans, there was no doubt that Clarke's portrayal of Daenerys Targaryen's descent into madness was masterful. Unfortunately, Clarke didn't have such a positive experience when she played Sarah Connor in the film Terminator Genesis, where she worked with regular Thrones director Alan Taylor. "He was not the director I remembered. He didn't have a good time. No one had a good time." Some actors would be disappointed if a film they expected to get a sequel didn't earn it, but Clarke said she was relieved that she wouldn't have to reprise her role.
Number 5. Miami Vice. The popular 1980s TV series Miami Vice finally got a film adaptation in 2006. Unfortunately, fans didn't feel like it was worth it. The film debuted to mixed reviews, and the general verdict was that it didn't live up to the original series. Although many critics were pleased with the aesthetics and cinematography, the story itself fell flat. Even Colin Farrell, who starred in the film as Detective Sonny Crockett, bemoaned the fact that they could have done a better job. He felt that the critics were right in their evaluation of the film. "I thought it was style over substance, and I accept a good bit of responsibility," Farrell said.
Number 4. Assassin's Creed. Movies based on video games rarely debut to glowing reviews, and the 2016 film Assassin's Creed was no exception to this rule. It wasn't popular among audiences or critics, and it performed poorly at the box office. There's no doubt that Michael Fassbender, who produced and starred in the film, initially had higher expectations, but he's confessed that he views the movie as a missed opportunity, and he knew there was plenty of room for improvement. "I would make it more interesting, that's really the main note," Fassbender has said. "The feeling of the film, I think it took itself too seriously, and I would get to the action a lot quicker."
But the question is, why in the world Garfield 3?
Can this be just between us?
Yes.
Drugs cost money.
Number 3, Garfield. The movie had few redeeming qualities, and why an actor as talented and funny as Bill Murray had agreed to work on it was a mystery. As it turns out, Murray claims the whole thing was a mistake on his part, explaining that didn't realize where he had gone wrong until it was time for him to record his lines. The Garfield script was written by Joel Cohen, Cohen, but Murray thought it was by Joel Cohen, Coen, one half of the renowned auteur duo the Coen brothers. When Murray began reading his lines, he got confused, wondering why the script was so poor. He didn't realize it wasn't actually a Coen brothers movie until someone explained it to him while he was watching the final cut. "I worked all day and kept going. That's the line? Well, I can't say that," Murray said, and then they explained it to me. "It wasn't written by the Coen brothers, Joel Cohen."
Number 2. Dungeons & Dragons. If starring in a film helps you renovate a decaying castle in Ireland, it's hard to entirely regret that decision. 2000's Dungeons & Dragons, based on the popular role-playing game of the same name, may have been a box office bomb, condemned by critics and audiences alike, but Jeremy Irons, who played the evil mage Prophion, got paid a hefty sum to be in it, so it's all gravy to him. Irons knew the film would tank, but once in a while you have to risk a bit, and even though he called shooting the film a nightmare of a production, he is quick to remind those who ask him about the project that he got paid. Number 1. Ishtar. 1987's superflop Ishtar is one of the most notorious films in all of Hollywood history. As it fell victim to extensive delays and a ballooning budget, the movie was denounced before it even came out and has gone on to become labeled as one of the worst movies of all time. While the film's production in Morocco was certainly turbulent, star Dustin Hoffman looks back on Ishtar fondly. "The thing I love about Ishtar, and I love it with all of its flaws, is that it has a statement to make. And that is, it is far, far better to spend a life being second-rate in something that you're passionate about, than to spend a life being first-rate at that which you are not passionate about." I thought that was worth making a movie about.
Thank you, Grace, for sharing with us today. That was our look at actors who knew their movies would flop at the box office. What did you think? Do you recall any actors saying they knew their film would flop before it came out? Let me know in the comments below, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, ring the bell to stay informed, and check out my Carl Vincent, Vampire Hunter franchise in the comments below. Until next time, this is Andrew in for Kevin Given saying live long and prosper, may the force be with you and keep reaching for the stars.